Hey, it's Robert Plank from marketeroftheday.com. I wanted to show you a really easy way to create a whiteboard anywhere. I used to use a tool called Awe App, which has been rebranded to Miro, but you get the idea how sometimes you need to, if you're on a webinar or a meeting or making a video, you need to be able to scribble, and you don't always want to mess around with, if you're using Camtasia, they have this marker thing, or maybe using Zoom. Well, the solution that I like these days is called Google Jamboard, and they call these jams instead of scribbles or canvases. And so you go to jamboard.google.com and click on this plus sign on the bottom, and this will give you a scribble area that does a lot of interesting things. We can see at the top here that you can have multiple pages, so you can have almost a sketchbook of your doodles. You can name this, and so if we say like that, you can name it, and then all of your jams or your scribbles appear all in this kind of Google Docs sort of area, and this is hosted by Google. And what you do is this right here, you have like the pen and a marker and a highlighter kind of thing, and so you can scribble whatever it is. Oops, how do I undo that? Ooh, Control Z right in the keyboard does it. So let's see, I was going to either scribble, or maybe I'll make a square, okay? And there's not a line tool, but there's like, you can do text boxes and you can do pens. And so the thing that got me jumping off and wanting to share this with you is you can do text boxes, sure, but there's a post-it note or a sticky note feature. So imagine this. I'm presenting, I'm trying to create some kind of like a doodle as if I'm writing on a piece of paper, and I'm trying to do the writing on a pen and trying to say like, well, do I want like a marker? And I'll say, well, whoops, undo that. I'll make this blue, and I'll be talking about like this, and I'll be writing something like that, and something like this, something like that. And if you write more than a few words or letters, then it takes up all the space and it's hard to make out your chicken scratch. You make a sticky note here, and check out what you can do is we can create cards, like type that and click on save, and you can see that behind us a sticky note just appeared. And we can write some other things, and to make it even faster, we can type Control Enter, and it will just pop up behind us. So we can list names, or we can list items, and we can say that, and we can say that. And let's also say that you wanted to have different colored sticky notes for whatever reason. Here's where you can choose the color. So now we can say, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. And then when you're done, you have all these sticky notes that you can place around, and you can rearrange, and you see this how you can resize it and make it different lengths. And so that's all very interesting, isn't it? That you can play around and put these sticky notes wherever they need to go, and get that like that, and get that like that, and just like playing around in that way. That's kind of interesting, right? That you can get this any way that you want and do it without any kind of weird signing up to anything, any kind of software. Imagine if you like doodled, if you screen shared, check this out too. There's a laser pointer where you can kind of point, or you can maybe like circle something and it disappears. And haven't you ever sometimes on a presentation or a webinar needed to do something like that? You can do that, and then you can create other frames, they call them. And is there a way to delete that frame? Oh, how do I delete where I was just at? Yeah, so if I want to delete that frame. But so you can have these various frames, these various pages, and then, and I mean, I haven't even gotten much into like you can add the images or things like that, but you can then click and share it with anyone with a Google account, and they can edit it, so that way it works just like any sort of a Google document. And it gets even better because then you can save just this slide or this frame as an image, And you could also, so there that saves, and then you could also click on download as PDF, and it also lets you see the changes. So you can, oops, if I move myself out of the way, you see how it shows like who worked on what and who made whatever changes to the diagram. And we open that up, so we have that image, and then we have a PDF document of all these other, like if you have multiple pages, or what do they call the jams? Frames. If you have multiple frames in your jam. All very interesting. That is jamboard.google.com. Free tool, hooks into all the Google aspects, and even has all the Google features you'd expect, like being able to export, share, see the revision history. Jamboard.google.com. Wanted to share that with you and hope you have a wonderful day.